think I'm live there and live there. And in Telegram. Okay, I think I'm live there. And I think I'm live on all 3 outlets. Good morning, America. Christ, I'm annoyed with you. You know, you're breaking up our routines. I attempted to buy some support here in the Dow. I haven't put a stop loss in yet. I'll do that momentarily. I'm just gonna get all the charts up and running. So there you go. They haven't even had time to eat some. Still, we love you, so how bad can it be? Good morning, America. I hope you're well. Good morning, good afternoon, Europe. I hope you're well too. It was quite the trading session we had earlier. All right, I got Wall Street up and running. I got Nasdaq. I got Dow, which is going to be losing me. Oh dear. FTSE. And Germany. All right. Ouch. Just need to get Nasdaq up and running on another screen, and then I'm ready. Okay. Good morning. I tried to be a buyer against this double bottom here. Maybe I'll just stop myself out for a loss. I haven't got a stop loss in right now, but it's very small size. You know, considering the overall count, which is currently standing at 17,600. I hope you had a good trading day yesterday. If you want to have a look at the, just get rid of this. So here's the Dow from yesterday, and the market's open here. School run triggers here at 41,611, and that trigger is below the overnight range, although it's really marginal, but it is. And it sets in motion a move down 400 points. I hope you caught it. If you didn't, then don't kick yourself. There'll be other opportunities. And the Nasdaq, well, Nasdaq open here. Here we go. School run. Goes just above the old high. So actually the ante would have been a lot better if you had played this traditionally. The Nasdaq would have been, but Nasdaq would have been difficult yesterday. Just full disclosure, I didn't trade anything myself yesterday until later in the day. So here we are. The market trying to resurrect itself. Seems like my PC is just frozen. Dow is it's actually quite weak. If I get an opportunity to buy the Nasdaq below prior bar low around 630, I'll probably do it. My Dow position is actually 140 points in loss right now. I'm kind of hoping that it's just exploring the ranges down here, but sure is looking weak. Please stand by in the Nasdaq. Want to be a buyer down here around 667. If I can. Buying the Nasdaq here. Not proud of that. Sorry about that. It's not particularly professional to showcase a trade with no stop loss. So what I did here in the Nasdaq was to buy below prior bar low. Okay, I'm taking profit now here. Made about 40 points. Let's see that. Bought it at 42, closed at 84. Yeah, bought £3, 642, closes at 84, 124 pounds. Now, can you please do something, Dow? It was really my attempt to go, okay, I wonder if there's going to be any buyers below this weekly low here. So my entry is 586. The old low was 648, 735. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try and be a buyer down here. So it's more like a swing trade than anything else. But so far, not looking so good. People are saying that there's no volume on Telegram. I don't think that's true, because I can see I'm coming through. So is it true? Is there no sound on Telegram? Some of you who are, no, it's fine. Thanks, guys. No, it's working. Please stand by for a long position in the Nasdaq. I'm buying the Nasdaq here at 606. I'm closing half my Nasdaq here. 25 points profit. Should have closed half. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, that makes sense. And I'm closing the rest here for another 40 odd points in profit. Let me just see what that looks like. Plus another 100. Okay, all good. I hope you understand what it is that I'm doing. I'm buying below prior bar lows. And just quite quick to take profit, to be honest. It suits me really poorly that the US has gone to summertime. And so I'm trying to fit everything in. So this may be a shorter session. Excuse me. Okay, would you like me to take you through these trades here? Let's do it together. Let me just take a screenshot of them. Paint. Where's paint? Let's ignore this one here. That was my attempt just before the open to do an espresso, but I couldn't tell you because I didn't have internet connection yet. So let's do this one here at 13:44.16. Let's look at that. $13.44 is this one here. So this is viewing it on a 1 minute chart right here. I'm buying right here because if you look at a 5 minute chart, you see this bar here, the black one, is the one that spans from, let me just get rid of all the lines. It's the one that spans from 40 minutes to 45 minutes. And I remember I bought at 44 minutes and 16 seconds past the hour at an entry price at 19,642. Okay, 19,642 is just about here. There. Now the reason why this area is interesting for me, because do you see this bar here? Yeah, this bar here pushes above a prior bar high and attempts to continue. And in my experience, when you have a bullish trend up, and let's just be clear about something. There's nothing bullish about the Nasdaq right now if you look at the daily chart. But if you're looking even at the daily chart or even the weekly chart, you acknowledge, well, maybe there is some support here. Like, I'm absolutely clear that the overall trend is probably down in the Nasdaq. But I'm a day trader, so I have the luxury of being able to disregard a much bigger time frame and focus on the short time frame. And I want to be a buyer below this low that you're seeing here, this one here. And I attempted to do that, but I got a really good fill. It was a very, very good fill. My God, my Dow position is 200 points offside now. Feels really silly to run a position like that. But I am kind of thinking that I'm trying to play it against the double bottom. Anyway, so this is simply an attempt to be a buyer below a prior bar low. And let me show you on a slightly larger time frame where it meant I would be a buyer. Try to be a buyer right here. And was relatively successful in that, but I didn't look a gift horse in the mouth, just going, okay, fine, I take my profit. And then the opportunity arose again. Up here, I'm a buyer at 148, 1348. So let's try and find that on the 1 minute chart. So there's 148 right here. Right here is 148. Now this bar here at 606, this is my entry right here. Right here, I'm buying. Why? Well, because I got a low over here. I got a low here and a low here, and I'm thinking they're probably going to run stops below. And they did. Now, again, it's not like I'm waiting for the market to. I'm not overstaying my welcome, is what I'm trying to say. I'm thinking, all right, let me take my profit and be on my way. The profit taking is always much more discretionary. In this case here, first I clock out at 24 points and I clock out at 42 points. Sometimes taking half profits is fine to do. Other times you want to try and get into the habit of running the winners. So anyway, I hope that does go to some length in explaining my decision-making process here. If I hadn't been explaining this to you, I probably would have been a buyer at 61. Let's see if we can get a fill at 61. We have another 2 minutes before the next 15-minute bar closes. Dow, on the other hand, is really quite weak. I have a swing position running here. This is based on the weekly chart because I'm thinking surely there must be some buyers down here. But right now I am 300 points offside. I wouldn't have done that at the beginning of the life of this account. But I'll tell you what, even now it feels a bit silly. Not a biggest fan of running positions without stop loss. Feels like a missed opportunity in the Nasdaq to be a buyer below prior bar low at the opening, as you can see here yourself. But it was worthwhile explaining the criteria and the setup for you. I felt. Let's look at the Dow. Might just take this window away so as to not distract you from my swing position, okay? Dow is trading below the overnight range. FTSE and DAX are not really budging from their gains. Oh yeah. Dow is going to trigger a school run short below 284. Currently trading at 340. Would I take it? Well, considering my short position, that would be a little bit difficult. As my long position would be a little bit difficult. But I suppose I could hedge it, couldn't I? You know, there's a part of me thinking maybe this should be played as an anti, i.e. meaning being a buyer below 284. I think I'm going to break a rule of mine of not adding to a loser and just acknowledging that this is a two separate trades. So I'm buying the Dow here at, just ignore the it's not really meant for public consumption. I am long Dow at 41,278. Actually doing an anti on the Dow. 41,278 with a stop loss at 41,178. Let's have a look at the Nasdaq. Probably do an anti as well here in the Nasdaq. Oh my God, I was just about to buy it there and then it just sort of clicked away from me. Ah, damn. All right, I'm just gonna, oh my God, that was really annoying. Did you see what happened? I was literally just ready to buy it and it just, wow, that's annoying. Damn. Well, I'm closing my Dow here for 30 odd points profit and letting my swing hopefully do better. All right, so let's just do a review here because that was a little bit odd. I bought the Nasdaq and I clicked to buy it at 580. See, doing the anti came in at 555, and I think I tried to buy it around there, and it just it just spiked higher, and I got a fill at 99. Took my profit, and yeah, that's it. It's been actually a really profitable session so far, just scalping below prior bar lows in the US 46, 33, 124, 35, 62, 30, 30. So taking the account from 17,588 to 9. about £400 added. That's nice. But I still got my swing position here, which I think I'm just gonna, this is not really something I've announced to you, it was already running. Hopefully that's not too much of a confusion for you. But poor form, I hold my hand up. Poor form not to have a stop loss. Please forgive me. And adding to a loser. Although I'd like to think that that was just me trying to read the market differently. I wonder if there was any news being released, because I didn't know there were news. One second. No, there was no, I don't think there were any news. I could have done a hell of a lot better in the Nasdaq today. My God, I'm annoyed I didn't get that fill down there. Bugger. Because then I would have had much more of a buffer. Okay. Just bear with me 1 second. I don't know if you're at all interested in this, but I just did a class, a Pilates class. Does any of you do Pilates? Pilates is I am quite certain that the instructor, the original instructor of Pilates, is a gentleman called, is Joe Pilates? I'm gonna have to Google that. Who invented Pilates? What was his name? Joseph Hubertus Pilates, a German-born gymnast, bodybuilder, and entrepreneur. There you go. Anyway, he's a fit-looking man in his youth. Respect. And in older age. Anyway, so I'm taking Pilates classes for my back. You live to a ripe old age of 85? 1883 to 1967. So what's that? 17 plus 67 is 84. Which came first, yoga or Pilates? Surely yoga came before Pilates. I think yoga was developed thousands of years ago in India. Oh, sorry, I am just yip-yapping a little bit. Take a look at the DAX. There's an opportunity here to buy below the first reaction low during the morning. I'm going to try and demonstrate it just with a 30-point stop loss. See if we can get a fill. It's 635, so it's about 10 points off where we want to have a fill. But it has been below. I'm going to take a chance at 43. This is small size, okay? It was just merely as a reference point to, okay, I'm a buyer below. It's a good thing to develop your psyche to thinking contrary to Oh, okay. The market's breaking down. I must thinking of selling short. So, because often these are the places where the markets will reverse. Although my stop loss of 30 points is probably a tad optimistic. But I am merely demonstrating here more than anything. Don't think I'm going to get away with that demonstration very well, ladies and gentlemen. No. Damn. Lost that. I bought at 43 and I got stopped out at 13. Doesn't matter whether there's small size. It was just wanted to demonstrate that. Okay, I want to be a buyer below. It does look like still looks like an opportunity. We'll see. Okay. God, I am annoyed looking at that big loss in the swing. It reminds me of a story that I once read. You remember this beautiful lady, Linda Bradford Raskin? She is featured as one of the market wizards. I heard her talk about the story where during the crash, how she began buying, and she bought below what she thought was going to be a low, but the market just plunged lower and lower, and she was really annoyed with herself because at the end of the session she was $75,000 in loss. I'm sort of thinking about her when I'm trying to, proverbially try and grab a low here. If you look at the range yesterday, the range was nearly 1,000 points. So it's not like it couldn't reverse from here. It's like DAX knew where my stop loss was, huh? So a gentleman called Eric, I think he's asking a decent question. He's saying, Tom, can you explain the difference between being a contrarian and buying when the market is selling off versus selling because the market is selling? Good question. Eric, in my humble opinion, I think it comes down to how you interpret the chart and your time frame. So this abomination of a swing position I have here is, I need to have a stop loss without a doubt. I can't have 1,000 point stop loss. I'm not going to lose £1,000 on that. That would be stupid. But looking at the chart here, I'm thinking, okay, unless I'm expecting a complete meltdown of epic proportions, I wonder if there aren't buyers going to step in because we are at the low end of the range. But this is a weekly chart. And so this may take some time to actually unfold. I'm not certain that I am well equipped to answer your question, what the difference between being a contrarian is. I know that if I was an investor, which I also am, I wouldn't hesitate to be a buyer here. And let me try and quantify that by using a different approach to explaining it. Here's a weekly chart of the S&P 500. And there will always be corrections. If I plotted a basic moving average, if nothing else, just for trend, then if I had just believed the overall trend as an investor, and I could afford to just treat it as an investment, then it makes sense to be a buyer on the deep retracements. At this time here, I was working for JP Morgan Chase, and I remember this sell-off very clearly because our performance or our bonuses were tied to the share performance, and obviously during the summer of '98, the share price really hammered, but eventually recovered. And I sort of take comfort in, well, what's the overall trend? And I plot a simple 50-period moving average on the weekly chart. And I did a piece of research on behalf of the Danish bank, Saxo Bank broker, where I concluded of all the technical tools that I had tested, the moving average as an investor was the one that held up the best. And so, as we're looking at where we are now, I don't see this as something that worries me. I don't think the market is about to roll over. Personally, I don't believe so. Because there's no one I can ask. I'm basing it on my belief about technical analysis. How does Eric's question get through? Here. So that's the underlying philosophy. It's a dangerous philosophy as a day trader, and perhaps I shouldn't have taken this position on my performance, and maybe I just have to remove it. Looks like the Nasdaq just went down and retested this area, huh? So Nis is saying, why not 200 days? Well, when you think about it, they're practically the same, aren't they? The 50-period moving average on a weekly chart is about the same as the 200-day on a daily chart. Well, if we assume that there's 5 days in a week, well, then maybe it's the 250-period moving average. So I can happily change that to a 40, when that should be aligned with. But I still don't think that makes any difference. If we take the Dow swing, what would be the target? Well, a profit would be nice. Sorry, that sounded a bit facetious, but if you really want to be hardcore, then the target is all-time highs again, about 4,000 points higher. The idea in the DAX was all right. Execution was poor, or stop loss was poor. Here's the daily chart. So much depends on what today will close like. Oof, kind of wish I hadn't got myself into this. No, I don't mind getting into this. It's that I show it to the public because now I feel compelled to have to manage it. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes break, okay? The water has made its way through my system, if you know what I mean. Please excuse me. Okay, I should be back online. Thanks for your patience. Did you notice what just happened in the Dow? Just had a buy below, pry bar low opportunity. See that? Interesting. Excuse me. Pass. Can you tell me what question is it you want me to answer? Pass. Could you answer that on the question before the question with Eric? Okay. Can you please manage the Dow trade you have on right now in Telegram? Also, please. Yeah. Which one? Pass, I'm not a mind reader. Please tell me which one it is. If you can manage the Dow swing in Telegram. Yeah, of course I can. Yeah, no problem. Can I just give a big shout out to Maximus, who just bought the prior bar low in the Dow. He got a fill at 41,233. Can I just say, that's a damn near most beautiful entry. See that? He literally bought it right there. Look at that. And he's using my software. Big shout out. Look at that. 41,233.8. That is there. That is a beautiful entry. Well done. Maybe what we need to do with the software is to develop a button called sell above prior bar high or buy below prior bar low. My God, I am absolutely on the wrong side of the Dow. And the Nasdaq is hemorrhaging as well. Doesn't look like this sell-off is over yet. But I'm not seeing the DAX reacting. Nasdaq looks like a short now, doesn't it? Failed above 19,700. Breaking below this range here. 555. I wonder if it's time to think a little contrarian and attempt to take a long position. I'm going to do that. I'm taking a long in the Nasdaq at 539, thinking that this is contrarian. I'm currently using a 75-point stop loss. I'm looking at the Dow. Hopefully it will hold this area. I think that will probably inspire Nasdaq as well. It's a chance to take, without a doubt. Right now it does feel like that this sell-off perhaps isn't over yet, but I just placed a bet that it is, rightly or wrongly. Where's the Nasdaq? But I am already 30 points offside. I'm going to show you. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? It's just the way that it's behaving. It's not even sort of attempting to make. At least not yet. I think much depends on whether the Dow can hold this 41,200. So I attempted to be a buyer in the Nasdaq below the maybe it should show it better on the hourly range. So trying to be a buyer down here at 530. My fill is not the greatest, 539. But the idea here is to be a believing that this is a trading range and that we are perhaps headed back up to 700 again. So being buyer below the low of this hourly range. But it probably does require the Dow to push lower, to push higher as well, and so far it's not holding. No, it's not, is it? look at my Nasdaq position, it's not looking good either. But I have a stop loss in place. I think I am wrong. This is the DAX we're watching here. I'm just tempted to take a position below 590. Currently trading at 605. I'm trying a DAX position here. In small size with a 40-point stop loss, but my guard hit. Everything is costing me now. My swing position, and Dow is 400 points offside. Nasdaq is has chewed its way half through my stop loss. So I don't think this market is. It's gonna post that on Telegram. It's only right. I think my idea, my bullish stance is just wrong. My Nasdaq is just about to be stopped out, just so you can see it here. So a traditional school run is working well, and I'm on the opposite side. So here's the the miserable look of my account. I am losing in the Nasdaq by being a buyer below. DAX is break even. And the trade that shouldn't be here at all is the Dow, which I will remove from this account at some point. It wasn't executed, but here we go. Okay, so I'll probably manage, I will manage these in Telegram, and let's see what the afternoon and the evening will bring. See if there is a desire to push this market back higher again. So just to give you a status, the Dow, which is a swing trade, shouldn't be in this account. It's not executed live, but it is what it is. DAX is just bought at 88. What I was trying to do there is to be a buyer below the hourly range and the 30-minute range. I'll show you better here. And the Nasdaq, which is currently precariously close to my stop loss, is also an attempt to be a buyer below the hourly range. And so far, I'm on the wrong side of that. So that's it. It was up until this point, a very good trading session. I made about 400 pounds on the account, which I am sadly losing in the Dow alone. And the DAX and the Nasdaq are not doing overly well. Been streaming for a little over an hour now. I think I'll call it here. I will manage this, obviously, and hopefully this will turn around. Thanks a lot for being here. It's lovely to be allowed to trade with you live, and I will see you for the Euro session tomorrow. All right, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.